Well, welcome everyone. It's always great to see such a great crowd here that are not throwing bullets at us.
They're not what, George?
We're not dodging.
Not what?
We're not dodging bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. I'm George Newman. I'm the current chair for the BLCC. And today is our regular Wednesday, November 15th, Board of County Commissioners meeting. And we're going to start off with a series of proclamations and acknowledgments and awards for so many of you who make our community what it is. And we're going to start off with some of our first responders. You know, our first responders, whether they're mountain rescue or the Aspen Fire Department or our public safety officers, they're the ones that put their lives on the line every day to help ensure the safety of all of our citizens and guests. And certainly this year, I think Mountain Rescue has had probably the busiest and had to deal with the most tragedies of any organization in a long, long time. So I think it's really important to recognize Mountain Rescue for all they do and all they've done. You know, coincidentally, we're also going to have the Greg Mace Award. And of course, Greg was instrumental in working and developing Mountain Rescue so many years ago. And we've got all the Mace ladies here today. We've got Christy and Laura and Lynn and Julie. So thank you all. So with that, I'd like to have Mountain Rescue come up here. This is like 1/10 of your team?
Yes.
About. Amazing. This is a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Mountain Rescue Aspen for their volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas Mountain Rescue Aspen has been conducting search and recovery missions in Pitkin County and throughout the state of Colorado for over 50 years. And whereas the 2017 season was one of the most deadly in history, with a total of 9 fatalities in the backcountry, 2 on the Maroon Bells Peaks, 5 on Capitol Peak, and 2 medical fatalities, 1 near Crater Lake and 1 in the Conundrum Valley. Whereas the volunteers of Mountain Rescue Aspen have the grim task of responding to these kinds of tragedies in our backcountry, I want to share the lessons they learn with locals and visitors to our mountains so that these events don't repeat themselves. And whereas Mountain Rescue will launch a new mountain safety workshop in 2018 to elevate awareness about how important it is to be prepared when recreating in the backcountry. The workshop will help fulfill Mountain Rescue Aspen's goal of saving lives through mountain safety education and backcountry rescue by educating the public on the difference between hiking and climbing. It will encourage recreationalists to have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to safely accomplish their goals and better prepare for the unexpected. Whereas Pitkin County cannot thank the volunteers of Mountain Rescue enough for their dedication to educating, searching for, and often rescuing us when we have a mishap to take a wrong turn on an otherwise glorious day in the backcountry. Now therefore be proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to the volunteers of Mountain Rescue Aspen for their outstanding dedication and commitment, and recognizes them for receiving the Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Outstanding Volunteer Organization Award.
Thank you. As Vice President of Mountain Rescue, I accept, and we really appreciate your support over the years, and that goes for the entire Pitkin County, City of Aspen. We really couldn't do it without your support, both as a leg of the county and as your financial support through donations. So thank you for everything you guys have done. first one, Danny. Been around a while.
Thanks so much, George. I also wanted to say that I know everybody functions on the organ, focuses on tragic deaths this year, but we had 72 missions this summer, and only 9 were deaths. So we did a lot more saving than we do removing bodies.
Great, thank you all.
Jenny? Hey, come on up. Yeah, you gonna bring him up for emotional support? Hi. I have the honor and pleasure of a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners, Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Ruthie Brown for her volunteer work in Pitkin County. And Ruthie is on behalf of climate issues in Washington, D.C. right now. So Jenny, her daughter, and Al are here to present or to accept her award for her. So whereas Ruthie Brown is a tireless advocate of environmental initiatives, whether they be to protect the health and quality and quantity of our rivers and streams, or in seeking solutions to climate change. And whereas Ruthie Brown served on the Pitkin County Healthy Rivers and Stream Board for 8 years and helped to usher in a recreational wave project in Basalt, securing a critical water right for Pitkin County to maintain a healthy stream flow in that section of the Roaring Fork River. And whereas after her years with Healthy Rivers and Streams, Ruthie helped found the local chapter of the Citizens Climate Lobby, dedicated to working for the passage of carbon fee and dividend legislation that would put fees on fossil fuel emissions and engage citizens in helping to curb climate change. And whereas, in addition to all of the sustainable and renewable environmental undertakings that Ruthie is involved with at home in Aspen, she also single-handedly undertook the installation of a 340 kilowatt electric project at her family's Wagon Wheel Ranch in Creede, Colorado. That facility is not only the source of sustainable electricity for the nearly 100-year-old ranch, it provides sustainable and renewable power to the grid for sale to other ranch properties in the San Luis Valley. And I've had the honor and privilege of witnessing that hydroelectric plant in person, and it's awesome, as is the ranch. And whereas Ruthie Brown always walks the walk and is a leader and positive role model for a healthy community and a healthy planet. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to Ruthie Brown for her dedication and commitment, and recognizes her for receiving the Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Environment Award. Ruthie has asked Jenny to say a few words, or Jenny's going to
Yeah, I mean, she was just really disappointed that she couldn't be here today, but really honored that you guys had thought of her. And we've both, for 32 years, this is my dad, stepdad, Al. Goofy guy. And we've both seen her work.
She's the sail.
Seen her work so tirelessly on countless projects and be such a important part of this community in such a humble way. And I feel so appreciative and grateful to have a role model that is my mom, like Ruthie. And so she, yeah, thanks for that.
Al, did you want to say something?
I think she said it all.
Okay,
really
great.
well.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.
And I think this is a commercial announcement for Pat, but we want to take a picture of all the award winners afterwards. So if you can avoid leaving, that would be great. And we'll take a picture outside in just a few more minutes. Would Jack Kennedy come forward, please? We've never met before, but this sounds really exciting, and I really appreciate the work with Challenge Aspen. They do so much for our community. A proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Jack Kennedy for his volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas Jack Kennedy and his wife Diane permanently moved to Aspen about 15 years ago, and he has since become an integral part of the Snowmass community and Challenge Aspen. Whereas Jack Kennedy started with Challenge Aspen in 2002 as a volunteer ski buddy, assisting people with disabilities, and whereas Jack Kennedy joined the Challenge Aspen board and became its president in 2015, he is endlessly ready to engage in any volunteer need. And whereas whether it's assisting with a ski lesson, chairing a board meeting, hammering nails on the deck at the Challenge Aspen Wilderness Ranch, becoming a wilderness first responder to better serve the Challenge Aspen population, or serving food to campers, Jack is there with a smile on his face. Now, therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to Jack Kennedy for his dedication and commitment, and recognizes him for receiving a Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Good Samaritan Award.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'm humbled to be here. George Newman and the rest of the commissioners, I thank you for honoring not really me, but Challenge Aspen. So very briefly, I'd like for Jeff Hauser to wave your hand back there in the back of the room. Jeff is our CEO of Challenge Aspen, and I just want to tell you what it's like for me to have come from being a 747 captain to a humble volunteer for Challenge Aspen, and then working my way up in this beautiful county to be associated with Challenge Aspen. And on behalf of our participants, they are really the ones that are receiving this award, and this will be on prominent display in our office, really for the participants. So thank you all. Good afternoon. What a pleasure.
All right, it is on. As Rachel said and George articulated earlier, I've lived here my entire life. They've been here forever, and we're still meeting new people who are incredible assets to our community, and it's so gratifying and fun to meet the people that are coming forth here. I want to bring up Carl Buckingham. There he is, the gentleman I met today. Some of you may have seen the article in the paper this summer about Carl's great work, but he explained to me earlier that he's been doing this stealth stewardship for 26 years. So here goes. Whereas, where do I start? Just the proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County recognizing Carl Buckingham for his volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas Carl Buckingham normally keeps a low profile in Aspen, but that all changed when he was featured in a story by Curtis Wackerly of the Daily News about the work he's done to help maintain Pearl Pass Road in Pitkin County for 30 years or so. And whereas Pearl Pass is a county road in the White River National Forest, and the Pitkin County Road and Bridge Department maintains the road and bridges along the way, but Carl Buckingham reportedly takes it to another level. And whereas Carl Buckingham uses his homemade World War II vintage truck to access the highest reaches of Pearl Pass Road, beginning early in the spring, he removes large rocks from the roadway that would otherwise make it impassable. And whereas Carl Buckingham doesn't rely solely on his trusty truck to get the job done, he's been known to pick away at avalanche debris blocking the road by hand using a shovel. He also trims willows on the roadside, digs diversion ditches away from the puddles, and has been known to help more than one stranded motorist in the area. And now, therefore, it be proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to the Mayor of Pearl Pass, Carl Buckingham, for his dedication and commitment, and recognizes him for receiving the Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Community Pride Award. And I want to add that I'm hoping that he's an inspiration to other stealth stewards in our community. Can I say something?
Thank you for this recognition. I'm most comfortable alone in my sanctuary, just doing what needs to be done. I know we all do that. I don't know why I'm the one standing here, but together we make the community work. Thank you.
Could Bob Cook come up, please? I just met Bob the other night at the Veterans Center in Glenwood Springs, and it was a special occasion. Proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Bob Cook for his volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas when Bob Cook moved to Aspen in 2003, he immediately joined the Fraternal Order of the Elks in Aspen and took the lead on its Veterans Affairs Committee. And whereas Bob Cook was a Marine himself, and he wanted to help those who served our country. And whereas Bob Cook's many hours of work, his dedication to veterans, and his willingness to give of himself has astounded all who know him. And whereas this year alone, Bob Cook has supervised over 350 volunteers, accumulating 3,000 hours of volunteer time. He has made thousands of sandwiches, stocked ponds with fish, and served at the airport when the National Disabled Veterans Sports Clinic came to town. He also finds time to volunteer with Challenge Aspen, helping skiers who struggle with disabilities. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to Bob Cook for his dedication and commitment, and recognizes him for receiving a Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Good Samaritan Award, dated this 15th day of November, 2017.
Thank you very much. I told Pat when I got the notice that there had to be a typo or something. I don't think that I deserve this. There are hundreds more that are much more deserving in this community. I'm very proud of what we do for veterans, and I'd like to use this as a platform to invite all of you to volunteer. We have 350, 400 disabled veterans who will be arriving April 1st, 2018 for a week. And we'd love to have you come out and help. You will get a lot more out of it than you put in. So please come out and help. My name or numbers in the book. Call me and I'll tell you what you can do. I'd also like to thank some other folks here who went on before, who sort of greased the skids for me, if you will, and one of them is Wally Lord, sitting right there in the back. The other is Colonel John Holzenbach, who I don't think is here, and first and foremost on my list is Colonel Richard Merritt. And I'd also like to thank the she-colonel, Colonel Janice Nark. We refer to the he-colonels and the she-colonel. She's our she-colonel. Thank you all for your recognition. I'm most appreciative. Thank you.
Camera angles. I'd like to ask Terry Leach to come forward. Or whoever. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Terry. A proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Terry Leach for his volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas Terry Leach is the heartbeat of the Buddy Program's youth camp, which serves Pitkin County teenagers for a week annually in Moab, Utah. And whereas Terry Leach has volunteered a week of his time for the youth camp every summer for 14 years, using his vacation time from his day job with the Aspen Police Department to benefit buddy program campers. And whereas Terry Leach is affectionately known by campers as Papa Bacon, there's a good story there, I'm sure, and is a role model and a calming, encouraging voice that talks kids through a flood of emotions during the Superman challenge of difficult rock climbing, rappelling, and canyoneering. And whereas Terry Leach is a kind, thoughtful, caring, considerate, reliable, inspirational, trustworthy, and is filled with a joy of life and work with his buddy program's amazing community of youth. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to Terry Leach for his dedication and commitment, and recognizes him for receiving a Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Youth Award.
I don't know what to say. That's hard. Challenge Aspen, veterans, lifesavers, water, fossil fuels. It's a tough place to follow here. No, I just love it. Anytime I can scare the heck out of 14-year-olds and throw them off a cliff, it's a good time. It's a good time. But thank you for this. I'm just doing it because I like it, and I gotta give I have to give credit to my guys, because if I didn't have the support, I didn't say go play in the woods for a week, I couldn't do it. The guys that when I'm gone, somebody's got to fill my spot. So I appreciate that too. So but thank you. We don't have time for that. Thank you, guys.
Okay, here's another one. Sue Kendig, please come up. There she is. We meet again after the first time today. Again. Okay, here we go. Proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Sue Kendig for her volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas Sue Kendig helped raise $1 million for the Aspen Historical Society's archive building renovation. And, wow. Whereas the Aspen Historical Society operates the largest archive of images, historical papers, maps, and artifacts collections in the region, and works directly with the public to assist in historical and genealogical research. And whereas Sue Kendig understood the need for a secure archive to house the priceless artifacts from every era of Aspen history, and whereas Sue Kendig led every fundraising initiative, every Aspen Historical Society event, special program, tour, and performance, while elevating awareness about the importance of the archive project. And whereas Sue's hard work and dedication paid off, on July 14th, 2017, she cut the ribbon celebrating with over 400 community members at the grand opening of the renovated archive building. The new building features a protective vault for the collection, a new community gallery, a 35% increase in collection storage, and additional office space. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to Sue Kendig for her dedication and commitment, and recognizes her for receiving the Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Exceptional One-Time Event Award. 15th day of November. Thank you.
Well, look, I really do appreciate this recognition, but it can't go without being said that I had the great fortune to work with an amazing team. The Aspen Historical Society staff, the Aspen Historical Society Archives Campaign Steering Committee, and it all worked, so we're very fortunate. I think this was a group of people that truly has an altruistic spirit. That means caring for other people. And in this case, it meant caring for and preserving the history of Aspen. And it isn't just for the people that are here now. It's for the people we will never meet. I'm very grateful for everyone's support. My husband, Bob, the Aspen Historical Society staff, and the Aspen Historical Society Archives Campaign Steering Committee. Thank you so much.
And we are so grateful that this was a one-time event. Took a while to get there. But every year at the Historical Society, we sit down with our insurance guy, and he says, so should we adjust the amount that the collection is insured for? And it's kind of a rhetorical question, because if something happens to our collection, there's no replacing it. There's no monetary value you can put on it. So thanks to Sue's work, the collection is so much better protected now. And we can all sleep easier knowing that Mary Ashbahe's photographs, Elizabeth Pepke's gardening hat, original mining claim maps of Aspen, they are all so much safer now thanks to Sue's work. Thank you, Sue.
So as I started today with our acknowledgement and proclamation to Mountain Rescue, I think it's only fitting that we end with the Greg Mace Award, because again, he was so instrumental in working in formation of Mountain Rescue so many years ago. And speaking of history, there's an old codger here that I think we'll bring up. It was always enjoyable to read his columns, a little wit, a little humor, and a lot of history. So Tony Wagner. This is a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Pitkin County, Colorado, recognizing Tony Wagner for his volunteer work in Pitkin County. Whereas Tony Wagner has the distinction of being one of Pitkin County's last working cowboys, and when he's not building fences and wrangling cows, he finds time to volunteer for the Aspen Historical Society. And whereas Tony Wagner is a fourth-generation native Aspen rancher, storyteller, musician, and historian, who has helped preserve our ranching history, he has donated dozens of early ranching photographs to the Historical Society's collection, making them available to the public online, in the archives, and in educational exhibits. He has even donated his Aspen High School letterman's jacket to the current exhibit, Best, First, and Worst, Aspen and Objects. That was in the Aspen Times. I saw that. There was a picture of that. Whereas Tony Wagner has dedicated the last decade to volunteering on the Aspen Historical Society board, serving as president, he has also spent over 5 years on the campaign steering committee, raising funds to renovate the archive building. And whereas Tony Wagner is probably one of the few working cowboys in the valley who can also ski, there's probably a few other buddies out there, huh? He provides on-mountain ski history, tours on Ajax. He's certainly the only working cowboy who appears on stage for the free annual community production of Aspen History 101 during winter school. He also plays the piano, the accordion, and writes a much-loved column in the Aspen Times every week. Now therefore be proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners is honored to present this proclamation to Tony Wagner for his dedication and commitment, and recognizes him for receiving the Pitkin County Cares Volunteer Service Greg Mace Award.
Well, he could have made that a little longer, huh? Thank you very much. I can say, wait, look around the room. I mean, what an amazing community we live in. All of these people here are volunteers in some way or another. I'd like to say the Greg Mace Award means a lot to me personally because I grew up with Greg Mace. And his sister Lynn. And I know his wife, Chrissy. And so this is the kind of award that other people get. We don't get. But so thank you very much. And I'd like to say also that I do love the Aspen Historical Society and Sue Kendig, such a remarkable job of laying out what they do, and Kelly Murphy. I'm not going to say any more, but thank you very much.
So when you get a call from a British film crew who says, can you find somebody to ride their horse down the streets of Aspen so we can show the other side of Aspen besides the celebrities that we're going to be highlighting? The only person I could think of to call was Tony Wagner. And of course, he didn't even blink. He said, well, sure. So on a Saturday, I think in a snowstorm, he loaded his horse into a trailer, schlepped him into town, and rode it up and down the street a few times for the film shoot. And that's just the kind of guy that Tony is. He's there to help with anything we need help with. And the Aspen Historical Society, and I think Aspen wouldn't be what they are without Tony. So thank you, Tony.
Thank you all for being here, for those who are supporting those who have been recognized, and for all of you that do the volunteer work that makes our community such a special and great community. So thank you all, and I think Pat Bingham would like you all to go outside for a group picture.
Can we add something? I'm going to add something really quick. I want to thank Pat Bingham for writing these proclamations. He does an amazing job.
Thanks, Patty. All right. Pictures. Photo op.